All right, everybody. Welcome to. I'm looking at my computer. This is the first time we've ever done this like this. Welcome to Now Showing with Mike and Wayne, live and in person in my living room. And as you can see, got plenty of movie memorabilia, some movies that we're going to be talking about, some other movies that just kind of reference what we're going to be talking about today. So this will be our first on-camera podcast.
Welcome to the archive.
Yes, this is where the movies I get to choose from that I watch every week, and as well as I have obviously lots of digital ones and stuff like that. Lots of Funkos. If you can't see all that, I've posted that kind of stuff before. Yeah, so this is kind of where it is. So I guess so. Let's just get started.
I'm gonna be completely, generic. Be like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Ricky Bobby.
Bobby. Anybody?
Talladega Nights. If you didn't get the reference.
Yeah, this is interesting. Something we're trying for the first time. I keep looking at my.
If you thought I was awkward in audio only, it's going to get so much worse. Hi.
I don't know. I really don't know what to do with my hands, so I'm gonna keep them here. This is episode 57. We're gonna be talking about female action stars, but I wanted to start off, Wayne, this week talking about Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron has been acting for a long time.
Yeah.
But she's now become like the go-to action star. Gender be damned. It doesn't matter. You get an action movie, you go to Charlize Theron first, and then maybe, The Rock or Vin Diesel or somebody else later. She has branched out. She's been in the Fast and the Furious franchise now.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, rumors she's getting her own movie in that franchise. But she did. We'd already talked about and how perfect this movie is in Mad Max Fury Road. The main one I wanted to talk about today. You better watch your mouth. Kick you the hell out of here.
He gone.
The main one I wanted to talk about today, though, was the assassin one that she did a few years ago. Give me a second. This is going to be weird having to look up on my phone while we're doing the podcast, but this is how we do it. So, give me one sec here. And she was, again, it's one of those things like you just look at her career and where it kind of, she won the Oscar for Monster early on in her career, and now she's become, like I said, the action star with Old Guard.
I'm glad you brought up Monster because the transformation that she went through, because, not to generalize, but she's very beautiful.
Yes.
In most of her roles, like, Devil's Advocate, a stunner, if you will, just absolutely gorgeous. And the transformation into Aileen Wuornos, who, it just... Those are the types of roles that really make a career, honestly. And I could not tell who this actress was. I'm thinking I'm watching Aileen Wuornos on screen right now.
Yeah.
And obviously, she won the award, rightly so.
For sure. The Academy Award,
the Oscar, if you will.
Best Actress that year. And that really kind of cemented her as she's not just a pretty face. And that was the thing is, early in her career, she got a lot of those roles. Devil's Advocate, 2 Days in the Valley, Mighty Joe Young, just these roles where she was pretty, they put her on screen, and then she did Monster. And everything kind of changed. She took control of her career, was in charge of basically producing everything from that point on. So I think that really helped as well. But the most, one of the coolest action flicks she's done recently, in 2017, she did Atomic Blonde. It's a movie it was successful, but I still feel it somewhat came and went because it was sold as the female John Wick. So it's not as it's more of a thriller than like a straight up action flick, but it has lots of cool spy action stuff in it. Lots of cool action sequences that she has to go through and stuff like that.
And it's a good point. Your mindset when you think you're going into like a shoot 'em up action packed thing and it's a really slow paced burn, if you will.
Yeah.
You're kind of just like, you got to kind of adjust your mind like for what you're watching on the fly, and a lot of people can't do that. So it's like, well, I didn't really like that as much as I thought I was going to.
Right, exactly. It happens all the time. We talk about it a lot where our expectations going into a movie are completely different, and then when we finally see the movie, and I like to think I'm pretty good, and we've talked about this before, I'm pretty good at adjusting on the fly. If a movie's something different than what I was expecting, as long as it's still cool, I'm okay with it. Atomic Blonde was one of those movies where, again, and it wasn't Atomic Blonde's fault, it was one of the people from John Wick had made the movie, that was part of it, and it was the promotion. It was, oh, the female John Wick. That's what this movie's going to be. And it was a really cool, badass movie. It's just more of a slow burn spy thriller. But she is fantastic in it. James McAvoy is also in it, and I love him as well. So it was kind of a great combination there. She gets to mess with accents and stuff. It's set in the 80s, so it's very cool, very kind of hip in that way. I really enjoyed just the style of it. I thought was really, really cool, really worked for me. So that was one of the movies that I really kind of appreciate for her. Old Guard, again, that was one that just came out last year. If you haven't seen that one, definitely check out The Old Guard. It's really good. The sequel's going to be in the works soon. She was just in F9. She was in The Fate of the Furious a couple years, same year as Atomic Blonde. So, I mean, she's kind of cemented herself into the action movie star role. But she could also dip in and out, go and do a drama, go do a comedy. She did Long Shot with Seth Rogen, which I really love too, and that's more of a comedy, obviously. But I just wanted to spend a little time on her because I feel like like I said, she's kind of what all action stars are kind of look to be today, and what they, compared to what they used to be, where it was Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme. It's different. It's changed. Right. Things have changed now.
The great thing about her is just her versatility. Yeah. She can still play the attractive, successful business lady if she wanted.
Yes.
She could be the ass-kicking ninja vampire if she wanted to.
Yep. In Long Shot, she's a senator running for president. So like she basically can do no wrong at this point in her career.
Yeah, this is fantastic because you brought up Stallone and Schwarzenegger. Their range, I love these guys, but it's like the old Robin Williams joke. It's like Stallone doing Hamlet.
Yeah. Not really going to be a thing that works out.
To me or what?
Another one I wanted to talk about, and this is my girl. Everybody knows I'm a huge ScarJo fan. Lucy. So obviously she's been in all the Avenger movies, and we're going to have a podcast where we go all in on the MCU, or probably a couple, because there's like 24 movies now, so it's going to be
we're probably going to have to do like a month like we did for Halloween, just dedicated to
the MCU.
The MCU.
So Lucy came out in 2015, directed by Luc Besson. Starring Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman. It's another movie for her, and she hasn't won an Oscar, but Academy Award nominated actress, and she's done a lot of drama, a lot of comedies. This came out at kind of the time where she was before like I said, Charlize kind of is now. She was kind of the precursor to that, where she was making $15 to $20 million a movie. She couldn't do no wrong. Every movie she did, even if it wasn't critically successful, it usually made money. And sometimes vice versa. Sometimes they're really critically successful, they don't make a lot of money. She's done some weird movies and stuff, and I think doing movies like Lucy has allowed her to kind of broaden her career a little bit and do a little bit of whatever she wanted. But Lucy is just one of those movies that, like, it's almost like she's a robot. So it's kind of, because it's basically the premise of Lucy is that we only use a certain percentage of our brain. And Morgan Freeman's character is kind of studying that. And she gets this drug that opens up her mind, and she ends up, her brain capacity starts doubling and tripling and stuff. And
so it's like Limitless only.
Yes, it is very much like Limitless. It's more accidental, though. Like, it wasn't on purpose. But she then, like, basically ends up becoming one with the world. So, like, you can't kill her because she's basically nature. So it's like it's a weird, bizarre kind of film, but the action sequences are incredible. It's pretty violent. There's the scene where she realizes, like, she has these abilities. She's, like, being held captive, and she just gets the guy to come over to her and then just kicks the shit out of him.
So she goes full Black Widow.
And the Avengers, basically. It's kind of really. It showed that, like, she probably should have had a Black Widow movie long before that we finally got the Black Widow movie.
Absolutely. This is what we talked about off camera. It's like, she finally gets the Black Widow movie, and her character's already gone. We know the fate of her. So it's amazing, but at the same time, it's kind of like...
It was sad. It was sad because then when at the end of Black Widow, you see her grave. This isn't a spoiler. She dies in Endgame, everybody. And it kind of gives you that, like, oh, like, we're not going to see her anymore.
Well, I mean, they could always... The time travel is possible, so they could do the Gamora thing and go and see her at least.
There's always a way.
Confuse the heck out of her and...
Yes. There's always a way.
Disrupt the space-time continuum.
But, there's always a way. So, and another one I wanted to talk about, Well, I don't. Wayne, is there one that you specifically wanted to talk about today? No.
No, we're gonna get to them. You know, I'm just kind of feeding off of your choices right now because they are excellent, sir.
Well, these, like I said, I wasn't planning on talking about all these. These are just kind of some. I got Underworld over here. Obviously, Kate Beckinsale, the star of one of our movies today. Brie Larson, Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I got Wonder Woman, and then of course Rogue One, where Felicity Jones is the lead female star of that film. That's why I brought that one out. But what I did want to talk about is kind of a lesser known one, and I think it's on. It's still on Netflix, I believe. It stars Jennifer Gardner, and it's called Peppermint. And it didn't get great reviews. It got lambasted by the critics. I don't know how the audience score is by it.
I'm not familiar with that one, so you're gonna have to fill me in.
Yeah, so it is it's a mom who her husband and child get murdered in like a mob attack type situation at like a carnival or something. And it was like I can't remember. I think it was unintentional. Like it wasn't like they were just kind of wrong place, wrong time situation. She's all shut up. She's like, what's going on, the trial and everything. Nothing happens. She then disappears for quite some time. And in this, like, it's like 5-6 years or something like this. So in this time, she has garnered what some would call a select set of skills. And she basically comes back with a vengeance to take on the entire drug ring that is responsible for the death of her husband and her daughter, I believe.
I'm always up for a Lady Punisher movie, man.
That's basically what it is, and she becomes like this vigilante guardian angel of like the neighborhood. And it was one of those movies, like if you've seen Alias, you're kind of like because Alias was so long ago, and so was Daredevil and Elektra, you kind of forget that she knows how to do that stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, she's good at this kind of stuff. The story is somewhat generic, but the action sequences are fantastic.
Right.
It's bloody as hell. It's really a good time. If you like these type of movies, like I said, it has been on Netflix. It was when it came out, it was like in the top 10 because just how popular it was.
And just going off what you just said there, it's like a lot of the storylines are recycled.
Of course,
incident happens, must take revenge on fallen family.
Yeah.
It's just how you do it, and the little eccentricities or
the
little details to change it and make it your own. Hey.
Well, because they say
I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking and like, oh well, they did this in such and such a movie.
Well, I think a lot of it too is, and it's the old adage of like, there are only like 5 or 6 actual stories in like the history of those, of movie making, of
what is it?
Storytelling.
Man versus man, man versus nature, man versus self.
Yes, and a few other words. Man versus babies. I think that was one of them.
Man versus Thanos.
That does happen a few times. Another person we want to talk about, just the kind of more in general, Angelina Jolie. We went in all in on her before, but just movies like Salt, Tomb Raider, unfortunately. The Eternals coming out later this year, obviously. So she is another one that has kind of done quite a few movies where she's established herself as, again, she won an Oscar. She's done drama. She's done comedy. She's Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Movie I don't think gets enough love. I really like that movie.
Well, that's because of the backstory and what may or may not have happened.
Yes.
Gone in 60 Seconds. You get Nick Cage and Angelina.
Yep.
Fast Cars.
Yeah, she's the lead of that one. Let me see. I'm just kind of scrolling through here. Obviously, the Kill Bill movies. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about that, but Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2.
Maya Hawke's mom.
What's her name? Uma, I think, or Oma. Uma Thurman, the star of Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2, and many other films, obviously. But those movies, really, what's great about those movies, too, is it showcases a lot of female action talent. Because you get Uma Thurman, you get Vivica A. Fox, you get Lucy Liu, and you get
a bunch of badass ass-kicking women.
Yes, exactly. And the girl with the chain ball, I forget what her name is, but like in that sequence towards the end of the movie where right before she fights Lucy Liu, fantastic. And just so many cool moments. You get Daryl Hannah more in the second movie. And it's really cool to kind of see all those women come together and just like kick ass. And there are a couple movies coming up in the near future. One of the movies today is about a group of women kicking ass.
Yeah, which also has some shades of Tarantino's.
Yeah, for sure.
Filming style in it for sure. I'm glad you brought that up because we're gonna make that comparison for sure.
Yes. Couple other ones. Hannah is another really good one. Saoirse Ronan.
Montana.
Yes, Hannah Montana.
That was a great action show. Yes, I'm a fan. I admit it.
Of the Hannah Montana?
I don't even know what that is, honestly. I'm just kind of riffing. I don't even know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So yeah, Hannah is a movie about a girl who lives in the the Alaskan wilderness with her father, played by Eric Bana, and she is like a weapon, but she's kind of like taught to how to kind of live off the grid.
Okay.
And she ends up being, I think it's Kate Blanchett, I want to say. Someone famous ends up coming after her. And I guess I'll just click on the movie. It'll tell me. Yeah, Kate Blanchett. And she ends up kicking the shit out of all of them. There's a TV show. They made it into a TV show on Amazon, so you can catch that as well. But the movie came out a while ago. It's a really good flick if you haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, we got Captain Marvel over here, Underworld. Some good ones to choose from. Birds of Prey, I really liked. A lot of people weren't. I don't know what people didn't like about that movie, but I really liked that movie. Tank Girl's another one. Charlie's Angels, the newest one. I enjoyed that. I know people hated it, but it's silly, but it's fun. Even something like this, Melissa McCarthy's Spy, like that, stuff like those type of movies too. Like your unexpected action stars. You don't expect to see her in that type of a movie.
The Octavia Spencer movie with her a couple months ago.
Thunder Force, yeah.
Thunder Force, that's what it is. Thank you.
Obviously, you got La Femme Nikita. Anna's more recent.
Do you remember La Femme Nikita, the show on USA Network?
I have.
Which was first? Was it that first, or was it the movie was
the
first?
Movie was first from Luc Besson, and then they did the American version, Point of No Return, and then it was a '90s TV show, I think. Right?
Yeah, it came on after wrestling, I believe, on USA.
And then more recently, they did one with Maggie Q and Devon Sawa that lasted like 5 seasons on the CW. So they've had it. It's been one of those things that's been around. It's popular. Female assassin. Femme Fatale. That's another one with Rebecca Romijn. When she was Rebecca Romijn Stamos, she plays like a killer hit woman, and I've always enjoyed that one. It was Brian. I think it was Brian De Palma. It's another interesting film. But yeah, so that's that for women in action. There are plenty of choices out there. Obviously, those are just some of the ones I wanted to talk about.
Let us know if we forgot anything.
For sure.
Let's hit us up. We'll definitely chat about it next show.
For sure. Just check out some of these movies, like I said, and we'll get into it. So,
indeed.
All right. So we're gonna get into our reviews
of the week.
All right. So this week we're gonna start with the one with all the women in it, and that is a movie called Gunpowder Milkshake. Gunpowder Milkshake is a film that is currently on Netflix. It is directed by Navat Papachado, starring Karen Gillan, Lena Headey, Carlo Gugino, Michelle Yeoh, and Angela Bassett. They team up in order to save a young girl, Chloe Coleman, who kind of has been brought into this whole situation because her father stole some money, and Karen Gillan's character was supposed to kill him. It's kind of set up like, so the plot is she's a young girl and her mother's an assassin. Her mother's kind of trained her, and then her mother leaves, and then 15 years goes by and she's basically become her mother. But she's never had a chance to like grow up. So I think that's one thing I wish, Wayne, that they would have maybe focused on a little bit, because they do give you a little bit early on, like she's 30 years old, sitting in front of the TV, eating Lucky Charms and ice cream or something, just like being a total child.
Yeah, it just all of a sudden she's a trained deadly assassin.
Right, exactly.
A very successful one at that.
Yes. So it was, I think maybe a little more backstory to that, but I guess that was all that they felt we needed. The first, I would say for this movie, like I enjoyed this film a lot. The first hour does do a lot of kind of like world building.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hit or miss, I would say.
Yeah, you really gotta suspend disbelief for this one if you can't really psychoanalyze it or apply physics, if you will, especially during the garage scene.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. Yes. Just sit back, relax, turn your brain off.
And the last hour is incredible.
Yeah.
The last hour is just basically one giant action show, one giant segment or action piece from the next. The scene in the library goes on. That's like 30, 40 minutes long. Just lots of bullets flying. I think the intention here was John Wick. They were trying to create a female-led assassin world, very similar to the stylings of John Wick, where there's like there's weird people involved and stuff. And
see, I got John Wick with a little bit of Wanted sprinkled in.
Yes,
because of the, they're not bending bullets and any of that craziness, but just the kills. And whatnot. Some people die in this movie.
Yes, a lot. Oh, the 3 guys that chase her. Oh God,
the boneheads.
Those guys were pretty incredible.
And I even had a problem with that scene. It was just the whole.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So, if you watch this movie, like I said, there's gonna be a couple of head scratching moments. Like, wait, what? Hold on.
There is, she is like the deadliest person to have ever lived, essentially. Like that's what you're kind of learning in this movie. Even Paul Giamatti, who's like her handler, kind of knows like, we messed up. Even though she messed up, we messed up, because he knows that she's going to do her best to kill everybody. What's great about this film, I think, a lot is the cast. To get Karen Gillan from
good old Nebula.
Yeah, Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones, Michelle Yeoh from everything recently, Carla Gugino from one of my favorites, Son-in-Law, even though she's been in a million other movies people know, but I love Son-in-Law.
Michelle Yeoh from her stuff in Iron Fist and the Netflix MCU, if you will. Well, the show's on Netflix. She's in a couple of them. I think she was in, was it Luke Cage as well? No, was it...
was it Luke Cage?
No, it was the other one, Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, Daredevil.
Yeah. Wow. Talk about a burning hair on that one, folks. She had her character had recurring in a few of those, and just fantastic.
She's always really good in anything she's in. Obviously, she came to fame with Crouching Tiger and some of the Jackie Chan movies, Super Cop. She was in, so I mean, she kind of knows her way around these type of films, and she did a really good job. Angela Bassett, she was fun. It was kind of fun seeing her in this type of role. She doesn't always, I feel like, get to play these type of roles. So overall, it's a really fun movie. I think I was expecting a little bit more out of it, but I did enjoy it for what it was.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see they've already greenlit a sequel, so I'm excited to see where that's going to go. I assume that it'll end up on Netflix, just because even if Gunpowder Milkshake was, I'm not sure if it was one of those that was supposed to be in theaters or.
It could have been. It could have been in a theater.
For sure, it could have been. And it was, like I said, it's nice to see Karen Gillan starring in a film.
It's nice to have children in the library again.
Yes, that whole stuff too, all the library stuff, because they spoiler, they had like guns and shit and all the books and stuff, so that's kind of fun. Oh, you're gonna go want to get something from the.
So they pull a little bit from Shawshank.
Yes.
They pull a little bit from Wanted. You know, there's Kill Bill with the Crazy 99.
Yeah. There's an endless. The bad guys, as usual, have an endless amount of bodies to send in and fight them.
And ammo.
They
never have to reload.
Carlo Gugino with the giant gun on top of that was awesome.
Yes.
There's lots of just cool moments in this film, especially like I said, the last hour. Definitely, it's a rec, I think, for both of us to check it out. Yeah. Just don't go in expecting exactly John Wick.
It's not perfect, but it does the job.
Yes, exactly. It's a very entertaining film.
Obviously, parental discretion is advised.
Yes.
Unless your kids are like our kids, and it's like, whatever. They're already screwed up enough.
Exactly. So the next one we're going to talk about that we reviewed is Jolt. Now, this one I actually knew less about. I picked the topic of limited action because I knew it was going to be an action flick, but I hadn't seen the trailer yet. I didn't even know the plot until the Friday that it came out, because I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw like a little tidbit on it. I was like, oh, that's what that's about? I'm like, okay. So then the movie starts. It's Kate Beckinsale and...
looking absolutely gorgeous, as usual.
And what's his name? The Australian guy.
Jai Courtney?
Yeah. Jay. I think I do pronounce it Jay, but yeah.
Well,
Jay.
He pronounces it wrong, Jai. Sorry, Jay. I know you're a big fan of the show.
Yes.
I'll get it right next time.
Yes, directed by Tanya Wexler, starring Kate Beckinsale, Bobby Cannavale, Laverne Cox, Stanley Tucci, and Jay Courtney. It's about a woman who has like some sort of disease, who she gets she gets super angry where she can't control it. It reminded me a lot of Crank with Jason Statham.
I was gonna say, yes.
What I did think was interesting about this movie is if you have no idea what this movie is, you get like she's got rage issues, right? Yeah. If you watch the first 40 minutes and you have no idea what kind of film you're watching, it's almost like a dark rom-com.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, okay, so that's where this is going. It's kind of like a weird, quirky, dark rom-com film. And then something happens to move the plot along, and then you get to the real action-heavy part of the film, which is like the back half of it, I would say.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed myself. Not enjoyed myself. I had a good time watching this movie. I always enjoy myself.
Easy now.
I had a good time watching this movie, though. I thought Kate Beckinsale was fun in this role. There were some definitely good one-liners that she had.
Right.
Like I said, Crank is really the thing I could think of most because she wears this like vest thing that basically anytime she gets angry, she hits it and it gives her like a jolt of electricity to kind of calm her down.
Electroshock therapy.
Yeah, basically that she does to herself. And Stanley Tucci plays like her therapist / guy who created the vest, and then there's some stuff that's revealed later throughout the movie. I don't want to spoil anything.
I do have to say that if you are a Harry Potter fan, we get a good glimpse of David Bradley, Mr. Filch. No cat though.
He is so old. I've seen him a few times lately. He's on the new show Gangs of London on AMC. And I'm like,
but he looked like that in the first Harry Potter movie in 2001. It's like the man never ages.
That's true. I guess
maybe he's a Time Lord or a Highlander.
And then he was on Game of Thrones too, right? For a little while, yeah. But yeah, he plays the villain, the main villain of one of the main villains. Yes. I'll say because I don't want to spoil anything.
That's good because I wasn't going to talk about the ending at all. No, yeah. I need to go back and actually rewatch it again just because it's not confusing. Just I want to say elaborate. It's just. You gotta watch. I have to watch it more than once to really absorb what was going on.
There's a lot that they reveal to you at the end that you kind of like have to kind of not catch up to, but it's just like because it's stuff that we didn't really see on screen for some of it. So,
but it just goes to show the power of rage.
Yes,
can be unstoppable.
Just get angry, everybody. Don't hide your feelings.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
I mean, this film. It was. I had a blast with it. To be honest, like there's oh my god, there's inappropriate one-liners in the. I know you know what I'm thinking about.
It's just for the first time in my life, I'm going to say let's not share that just because.
Let's not. I kind of want. Well, for me, I want people to experience it on their own. So like, you have to watch this movie just for the one line through a fight scene, which is hilarious. And her delivery of the comedy in this film is actually really good. It makes me want to see her in more action comedies because we have her in Underworld
and the 17 sequels to it.
Yes, she is not very funny in those movies. She's very good in those movies, but they're not comedic. I think she showed that she could do a good job with that. So I was really kind of impressed just by herself. I know she could do all the action stuff. And she played kind of crazy very well, too. Like, there's a scene in the beginning, too, at the restaurant. And there's a lot of, because the other thing, too, is her impulse is to beat up people that are bad.
If you've ever been pissed and you fantasize about what you'd want to do to somebody in your head or, take a baseball bat to that stop sign, you get a lot of, these glimpses into... Whoa. Okay, wait. She's not actually doing it. But the thought.
Yes.
So
there are. Yeah, they do a lot of cut. You're right. The cut scenes of what she's thinking in her head, which are really pretty gruesome too. And it's funny that Stanley Tucci too. At one point, he's like, "So what was it this time? You decapitate me?" He's like, "Oh no, it hit you in the artery." He's like, "Oh, that's a good one."
Jugular.
That's the jugular.
Protrusion or whatever she says. Just matter of fact, this is how I killed you this time.
Yeah. So it's creative in that way. It's funny too. It reminds kind of like Payback, where it's like he wants $70,000. And I know we've talked about the movie a lot, but there's in this movie too. It's like
that's just mean, man.
Yeah, like you're trying to avenge your husband. Like no, It's my boyfriend. Well, not really my boyfriend. We just went on like 2 dates, but I really like him, and he's a nice guy.
Commitment issues?
Exactly. Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's brand new.
So it's just the fact that it's like this quirky little like it's a brand new relationship, and she's still like trying to murder everybody, or at least fight to find out get the answers, if you will.
Yeah. Laverne Cox, somebody we haven't talked about yet. One of the detectives who. Sort of aiding her, sort of after her.
She's the hard-nosed detective, where her partner Bobby Cannavale is more the softer one who's trying to help her, really help her, like lets her get away a few times. Laverne Cox plays his partner, female detective, who's just very like hard-nosed,
straight line, straight edge. Where he's kind of more like, it's tiptoe around the lines of legality.
The baby scene. That's all I'm gonna say.
Think Blade 3.
Oh my God. I was watching it with Rebecca, and she's like, oh, we were just cracking up the entire time. I was like, what did you do? No, don't do it. I trust you.
Babies were thrown. Disclaimer, no babies were hurt in the filming of this movie.
I am disappointed that one baby had a slow motion action sequence before I did. That's always been my goal in life, is to have a slow-mo action sequence, and that baby has beat me. Barely being alive.
Once we get this whole video thing figured out, we're going to have to shoot that for you.
Yes.
I think he's actually moving in slow motion. That's how fast he actually moves, guys.
Yes. I just, it's normal. Normal motion for me.
What the hell are we doing?
I don't know. All right, so the 2 movies this week, Gunpowder Milkshake, Jolt, both very enjoyable. Jolt is on Amazon Prime. Gunpowder Milkshake is on Netflix. You can catch them there, along with like plenty of other female action-led films.
Yes.
There's just so many good ones out there. I know we've left some off. There's still some I haven't seen that I got to check out too. So like there's plenty to choose from. If like Wayne said, if you guys got any questions or any thoughts about other better ones or ones we should talk about, leave us a message on where this video is going to be posted. One thing I want to do now, because now that we're on video, this is something I want to do every week. It's going to be Mike's horror pick of the week, okay? So I stayed with female-centered, okay? This is, in horror we have...
He said horror, just to clarify.
I know. I have to clarify sometimes. Horror.
Well, I didn't know what you were recommending at the time, so I just wanted to make sure.
Debbie does Dallas... Oh, wait. You're...
Off the rails.
All right, anyway.
That's kind of what I do.
My horror pick of the week. This one is I stuck with the topic of this week. Final girls are a big thing in horror. So, you got Laurie Strode, Halloween, Sidney Prescott from Scream. I got a Scream poster over there. That's what I'm pointing at everybody.
It'll be covered with a screenshot.
Yes. yes, exactly.
Editing.
Editing. Lots of star wipes. So, your next is a slasher film. And it's kind of like a new wave, like meta slasher, I guess. It's from Simon Barrett and Adam Weingart, who did Godzilla vs. Kong, so he's kind of blown up now. But it has one of the best final girls in a slasher film, because she's just like everybody in this film is kind of a pussy. And then you get to her, and she's like, her father like trained her to live out in the forest and no one knows this. So she's just like this straight up badass, and it's a really great flick. It's bloody as hell, obviously. It's funny. It's a horror comedy, slasher, action film, blood, guts. Larry Fessenden, the horror icon, he is in it as well. There aren't a lot of famous, most of the people in it are like directors. Barbara Crampton, though, this was kind of her return to movies. She was big in horror films in the 80s. And they got her to come back for this, and she's been doing them ever since. So if you have not seen your next, usually it's streaming somewhere. Definitely check it out. It's a fantastic film. Obviously, I own it. I own a lot of movies, but I really highly recommend this film. And I wanted to recommend that this week. So, all right. Wayne, is there anything you want to talk about that you've watched this week, sir? Aside from the movie.
Processing, thinking. You ever have that where it's like, you watch stuff, but you can't
of course, yeah. Sometimes I get that.
Well, you know what? I did. I started watching the new Masters of the Universe.
Okay, yeah, and your thoughts, your early thoughts on that?
I really enjoy it, but after the first 2 episodes, I really can't say anything because
spoilers.
You got to watch it because of spoilers. Yeah. All I was saying is that by the title and the content, it's not focused on who you think it's focused on.
Yeah.
I think that's vague enough to where I'll leave it at that.
I'm very excited to start watching that movie. That TV series on Netflix, created by Kevin Smith, who obviously I'm a huge fan of. There's a Funko of Kevin Smith right down there. This week, what did I watch this week? I watched Everly with Selma Hayek. That was kind of like, let's watch a female action movie. It was okay. There's some really cool, like, gore and violence in it, because Joe Lynch is a horror director, and he did a good job with that kind of stuff. I know you've been talking about Virgin River. I started watching that.
Fantastic.
Towards the end of season 2. It's a drama. I guess I kind of understand Martin Henderson now. I didn't know why he was like a thing, and then I'm like, yeah, I get it. It was funny. I'm watching. I'm like, he should probably have been on like Grey's Anatomy. Apparently, he was for like 45 episodes. I don't watch that show, so I had no idea. So
the lead, Alexander Breckenridge
from Walking Dead.
Yeah, that. Thank you. I'm like, I know I've seen her before. And yeah, it's like, The Walking Dead season, I think 7 or 8.
It was 6 or 7. Yeah, 6. I think 6 into 7.
It was only It was only a handful of episodes, but
yeah, she's really good. They have great chemistry together on that show. That's I think the important thing. I started watching. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, Annette O'Toole by far holds the show together.
And who is she on the show?
She is the mayor.
The mayor.
The eccentric one.
Yes. Really, what do we know her from?
Mrs. Kent from Smallville.
Oh, okay. See, I never really watched Smallville that much. So, but she
was, or maybe is currently married to Michael McKean, I believe.
Okay, and I know the name, so I'm sure we've seen her in other stuff.
She also played Lana Lang in Superman 3.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm a kind of a Superman guy, so hey.
Gangs of London. I started watching that on. It's available on AMC Plus, so that was pretty good. I like that show. I'm only like 2 episodes in, but it's fun. Gangster show out of London. Trying to think what else. There were a couple other things that I watched this week, but I all of a sudden can't remember.
Must not have been very memorable if you can't remember.
They were. I don't know. We'll move on. Unless you've got something else you want to talk about.
No, I can't remember what I watched either. Moving right along.
We're getting old. All right. So,
speaking of getting old, man, we had to say went to a goodbye party for our good friend Mike Manheim, who's heading out to Las Vegas. Best of luck to him. Standing in the sand for, those 3 hours, dude? I am so sore. I am so thankful we are inside in our brand new digs.
Yes.
In the climate control.
Very nice air conditioning. Not no fan anymore, so no loudness. That has to be blocked out on the audio. All right, so news coming up. Clerks 3 starts filming next month. Original and sequel cast returning, being released by Lionsgate. Marvel's Blade to be directed by Bassem Tariq. Happy Death Day director Christopher Landon to direct We Have a Ghost for Netflix, starring Anthony Mackie and David Harbour. Charlize Theron and Andy and Barbara Machete to produce and develop the Final Girl support group from Grady Hendrix for a series at HBO Max. Final Girl support group is a brand new novel that just came out by Grady Hendrix that's about like final girls getting together and like talking about what it feels like to be, alive after something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested in that, Charlize, as we just talked about producing that.
I know we've talked. I got to jump in really quick. Something that has bothered me. Again, it's Superman related. Michael B. Jordan is in development to, portray a African American Superman, and people are losing their minds. It's like, okay, first and foremost, he's not a human.
He's not a real person.
There are multiple universes. Marvel has established that. DC has established that as well.
Yes.
Calm down, for guys.
Yes.
Well, we don't even know if he's playing Kal-El.
No.
It's like, pump the brakes. He's a great actor. They're going to do it justice, I'm sure.
Whatever they do. I mean, the thing with the DC movies now, and we saw it with as much as I didn't care for the Joker, that's the kind of stuff they're going to do now. They're going to do a bunch of one-off stuff. I mean, even Birds of Prey is essentially going to end up being a one-off movie because they're never going to talk about it again. They're just throwing her back into Suicide Squad and forgetting anything ever happened before.
I hope this new version of Superman is fantastic and they do a multiple universe thing. Could you imagine Henry Cavill
Yeah.
Sorry, Henry, I know you're a big fan of the show as well. And Michael B. Jordan is clashing Superman or like teaming up.
That would be incredible.
It would be great if done properly. Let's keep
for
Mr.
Sure.
Schneider maybe at an arm's length this time.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep him at like a. At this point, he's at a network's lane. He's working for Netflix, so.
Hey, you know what? He's making his money. Yes. You do you.
Hawkeye and Miss Marvel to premiere by the end of 2021, so that's pretty big. They've already Loki just wrapped up. What If is the animated series they have comes out in August, so hopefully we'll get Hawkeye sometime in like September, October. Miss Marvel sometime by the end of the year. Sequel series to Sabrina coming to Netflix called The Occult World of Sabrina. Leslie Grace from In the Heights playing Batgirl on HBO Max, so that's interesting. It's a movie. It's not a TV series. They're doing a movie straight to HBO Max. A lot of people are upset only because they want it to be in theaters. A lot of Batgirl fans, and I get that. I understand, like wanting to see something like that on the big screen. But Warner Brothers has already announced that in the next 2 or 3 years they're going to have almost as many movies appearing in theaters that they're going to have on HBO Max. So it's just the direction that we're going in right now.
Adapt and go with the flow.
They're going to try to kind of balance the theatrical and be the new Netflix at the same time. So it's going to be interesting how they handle that. They have a lot of properties when it comes to, if you saw Space Jam, they have a lot of properties. Most of their properties are adult properties. So we'll see how, outside of the DC ones and Harry Potter, we'll see what they're able to do with HBO Max. A lot of it seems to be DC heavy, obviously, at this point.
Some interesting Star Wars news that I saw, coming off of the success of The Mandalorian.
Yep.
And officially a licensed poster has, I don't know if it's been released or leaked, but it shows a young Luke Skywalker showing the Baby Yoda Grogu character how to build a lightsaber. Now, I'm totally jumping to conclusions here, but...
Do you have a jump to conclusions, Matt?
I do. And I have jumped all the way from 0 to 10. Actually, I pushed it to 11 because, just the possibility that we could see more Luke Skywalker as the Jedi Master in his prime. And whether, we get a Sebastian Stan taking over the helm, or if they maybe do a little bit better job of de-aging Mark Hamill and he continues with the role, I think it would be fantastic. And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
How could you not get Sebastian Stan? I mean, he looks like a young Luke Skywalker.
Why would you not want to do that? You've already gotten Mark Hamill's blessing. So.
Exactly. That would be kind of incredible if they were able to pull that off.
So, again, totally jumping to conclusions, but if we could see something like that in The Mandalorian Season 3 or in any of the Disney Star Wars realm, that would be great for me.
Anansi Boys from Neil Gaiman getting adapted over at Amazon as 6-episode limited series. That is somewhat pulled from his American Gods story, so we'll see how that works out. Michaela Cole joins Black Panther 2 in a secret role. Army of the Dead 2, speaking of Zack Snyder, officially in the works. I Know What You Did Last Summer series, and I'm very excited for this. It's going to premiere by the end of this year. So, really pumped for that series. I love the movie, the first one.
The second one was alright.
It's okay. Let's see. Night Agent series on the way from The Shield's Sean Ryan for Netflix. Rumor, this is a big rumor here, Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk might appear in Hawkeye. So I'm really kind of pumped for that. The Netflix shows were kind of something different when it came to Marvel, and I'm really excited. Vincent D'Onofrio was the best part. Silence your phone, sir.
I swear I did.
Obviously did.
As my lightsaber went off, I apologize. Hashtag huge nerd.
Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, is one of the greatest things to come out of those Netflix series. So I'm really excited to see if he pops. I hope that he pops up, because when he showed up on the first season of Daredevil, it was insane.
And subsequent other appearances, surprise.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I really think that they need to continue, or at least build off of those, because those Netflix series were fantastic. Well,
the rumor, I believe that the plan is to use Charlie Cox as Daredevil, John Bernthal as the Punisher, Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. No word on. It seems like Luke Cage and Iron Fist, if they do introduce them, will be recast. So I know.
Hey, something is better than nothing. I guess we can take what we get, but I really, really, really loved Luke Cage and Iron Fist. It's an acquired taste. I enjoyed it. I know not everybody did.
Was so much better than season 1, and I was upset they canceled it because what they set up for season 3 was going to be incredible.
Indeed.
And I was really disappointed they got rid of that. I know the whole Marvel thing with them them basically bringing everything back into the MCU. I get it, but it still was kind of disappointing.
I know people were a little bit disappointed in the Defenders as well. But
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it for what it was.
They needed another season.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think they were actually planning on more than one. It never came to fruition, unfortunately.
No, it was just that whole Netflix didn't want to renew it, and Marvel's like, fine, we'll just take them back, and that's kind of what happened. Let's see. Pam Grier joins Pet Sematary prequel. And then we talked about the Michael B. Jordan Black Superman series. Release is coming out soon. Netflix TV show Brand New Cherry Flavor, very interesting title, starring Rosa Salazar and Catherine Keener, lands on Netflix August 13th. Clickbait, a limited series starring Adrian Grenier, Zoe Kazan, and Betty Gabriel, hits Netflix August 25th. The Last Duel, starring Jodie Comer, Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and Ben Affleck, from a screenplay by Damon, Affleck, and Nicole Holofcener, and directed by Ridley Scott, comes out around, I didn't write the date down, but it's like October, I think.
Well, the last time Affleck and Damon collabed on a screenplay, it turned out to be pretty good.
It did. I think they won the best screenplay there.
There were a lot of awards given out for that particular movie.
There was. It was a fantastic movie.
There was a lot of goodwill distributed to everyone. Aha. Yes.
Can't believe you just did that right now.
Really? Have you met me?
No, I can't totally believe it. Okay, big news for horror fans. Jordan Peele's third film has been given a title. It's called Nope. So he's got Get Out, Us, and Nope. So very short titles. 2 great movies so far. So I'm looking forward to this one. It stars Daniel Kaluuya again from Get Out, Keke Palmer, and Stephen Ewan, who is basically in everything.
Everything.
It's great. It's great. Having him in everything is awesome. So
he was kind of quiet after he left The Walking Dead, and it was a shame because I always really liked him as an actor. I mean, I loved seeing him on that one cameo in The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Before The Walking Dead, actually. But
not even really care. He was just a guest star at that point, or guest actor.
Basically an extra. He was Sheldon's roommate before Leonard.
That's right. I forgot about that. Lucifer, the final season, has been given a date, September 10th. So that'll be it for Lucifer.
Wait, of this year?
Yeah, September 10th of this year. So they're ending it. Yeah.
Get out of town.
Yeah. Deaths this week. Pilar Bardem, actress and mother of Javier Bardem, dead at 82. Robert Steinhardt, frontman and violinist of the band Kansas, dead at 71. Next one kind of shocked me, Wayne, only because I had thought he already died. And that's Jackie Mason from Caddyshack 2. Died today at 93. I assumed he had already passed away. I scrolled up like, wait, what? Like, is this article old? Like, no, he just died today. So rest in peace to all of those that passed away, all 3 of them. But so this was our first video podcast.
It will get better, I promise.
Will it? It may get worse. But regardless, we're going to do this from now on. And we hope you enjoy the new format. We'll be adding some things as we go and stuff, kind of like how we did on the regular podcast, where we, now that we've got video to our capabilities, we'll be adding a few things.
And don't worry, we will still have our lineup of guests that you have loved and listened to throughout the first year with us. Only you are probably going to be able to see them as well.
We're going to have to spread out somehow. We'll figure it out.
Well, you're going to tell a fat guy he needs to spread out? Well, sounds good. No more sitting on an airplane for me.
Exactly. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. For Wayne Yerke, I'm Mike Patrick. Thank you for watching. I think we say that now. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
And listening to Now Showing with Mike and Wayne.